Just a few years ago, if you had asked any young auto enthusiast, there would have been one car on their shopping list, the Honda Civic Si.
But times are changing, and these days if you ask them, they'd probably say this car, the Subaru BRZ.
While distinctively different vehicles, they do appeal to the same type of performance-oriented driver, and their stats are remarkably close on paper. So when two cars are this close, what better way to pick the victor than to compare lap times at the racetrack?
The BRZ is equipped with a 2-liter boxer engine that makes 200 horsepower at 7,000 RPM and 151 pound-feet of torque at 6,400 RPM. It is, of course, rear-wheel drive and comes equipped with a limited slip differential, and it also comes with a 6-speed transmission, either manual or an automatic. It's the lighter of the two vehicles at 2,762 pounds, and fuel economy is 22 in the city, 30 on the highway, or a combined 25. And it starts at $25,495.
The Honda Civic Si is powered by a 2.4-liter four-cylinder, making one more horsepower for a total of 201 horsepower at 7,000 RPM, and torque is 170 foot-pounds at 4,400 RPM. Being a Civic, it's obviously front-wheel drive, and it comes with a standard limited slip differential. You can get it exclusively with a 6-speed manual transmission. When it comes to weight, the Civic is a little bit heavier than the BRZ by just around 100 pounds at 2,877 pounds. And when it comes to fuel economy, they're nearly tied again, with the Civic measuring 22 miles per gallon city, 31 highway for a combined 25 miles per gallon. Priced significantly less at $22,355, we realized from the onstart that this wouldn't be a fair comparison with a regular Civic Si. So the car we've borrowed is a Civic Si HFP, or Honda Factory Performance. Now that package gets a bunch of extra goodies like the body kit you can see. It also gets 18-inch wheels and 18-inch high-performance summer tires, and of course a reworked suspension setup. Now, of course, that adds on about $4,000 of extra cost for a new total of $26,185. It might only make one more horsepower than the BRZ, but on the straightaways it certainly feels faster, especially when you get up into the higher gears and the higher speed. Of course, the Honda fanboys will tell you that that's a direct result of the red HFP floor mats. Along with the better speed, the brakes actually feel a bit more confident, a little grippier on this car than the BRZ, although on the downside is they actually are fading quicker as well. A noticeable upgrade on the HFP are the 18-inch high-performance summer tires. They improve the car in every way, whether it's braking or just a little bit better grip on turn-in. It's a noticeably better car. The downside, of course, being that understeer is still very prevalent on this front driver, and of course the other big downside is despite the fact that it has a lowered suspension with upgraded suspension components, it still has lots of body lean, especially when you're comparing it to a light and low car like the BRZ. The limited slip differential on this car is key to making it the performance machine that it is. Other Honda components that are usually good, the steering is excellent, and of course the 6-speed manual transmission is exceptional. In terms of the overall driving feel, it's true that the Civic Si HFP just isn't as low, as light, and as engaging as the Subaru BRZ. On the upside, however, it is about the most fun you can have without going rear-wheel drive.
It's really pretty hard to say anything negative about this car. It's just so much fun to drive. You feel how lightweight it is when you're coming into corners and you're on the brakes, and once you're into the corner, it just feels so well balanced. You know, it's never hard to get it into a drift, but it's never hard to get it out of a drift either. It just inspires confidence at the limit. The transmission's really nice. It's quite a short throw and has a really positive feel to it when you're changing gears. And the engine really surprises me. I was expecting it to feel a little bit, I don't know, a little underpowered, but it's actually very responsive. It's got lots of torque whenever you want it, and it's got a pretty willing top end too. It revs right out to 7K. Really motivates this little car very well. The other thing I really like about the BRZ is the seating position. It's very driver oriented. You sit nice and low. It's got a nice little racing inspired steering wheel. The pedals are well spaced for heel and toe downshifts. It's definitely been engineered with this kind of driving in mind. The suspension tuning is also pretty amazing. It's firm, but it's still quite compliant. I mean, you can pound the curbs here around the racetrack and it soaks them up really well. But at the same time, when you're going down the straights and you're hitting little cracks and grooves and stuff, it never feels harsh or choppy. I guess maybe the only knock on it is the wheel and tire combo. I mean, to me, the wheels are a little weakly offset. You know, I'd love to see a wider, more aggressive wheel and tire on here. And these all-season Prius tires, they really don't have much grip to speak of. I know you can't see it because I've got a helmet on, but I'm smiling right now. And for 25 grand, that's a hell of a bargain.
So Dave, you've had some time to put laps down in both of these cars. Is it the front drive Honda or the rear wheel drive Subaru BRZ here that's the faster car?
Well, this is actually the closest shootout we've ever had. The difference was only 1/10 of a second, and it was actually the Civic that won the battle by that tiny, tiny margin. The truth is, though, that the Civic has much stickier summer tires, and if you were to swap those onto the BRZ, it would probably go at least 2 seconds a lap quicker.
And you could actually probably get those tires on the BRZ and come up to about the same price as the Civic Si HFP already costs. Off the track, each car does come with its unique advantages. For starters, the Honda is front-wheel drive, and so if you live in the Midwest or the Northeast, it makes a lot more sense as a year-round vehicle.
True, but the BRZ can be had with a 6-speed automatic, an optional leather interior, and a keyless access system with a push-button start like all sports cars should have.
And you almost forgot to mention the joy of driving rear-wheel drive and the most balanced sports car $25,000 can buy.